I went back to my abandoned ship for parts, and discovered an alien girl living inside. 3 years. That's how long it had been since I'd last seen the Odyssey. My first ship. My longest mission. My biggest mistake. She was a rusting hulk now, drifting in geosynchronous orbit over Juno 3, a dead mining moon. We'd crash-landed after a power core surge fried half the systems. I'd barely made it out alive. Hell, I only survived because a scavenger vessel responded to my emergency beacon. But I never got everything off her. Not the backup AI cores, not the encrypted NAV logs, not the rare Terran alloy fabricator in the engineering bay. Parts 1 now desperately needed for my new vessel, the Second Wind, to make it off this rock before the ion storms rolled in and fried every circuit I had. So I went back. I docked the Second Wind with a groan of old clamps meeting rusted metal, sealing to the airlock that had once been my front door. My helmet's HUD flickered warnings. Atmosphere inside was thin, but survivable. Gravity was still functioning. Good signs. I pressed the manual override. The hatch hissed open, and I heard music. Melodic. Alien. Froze. No one should be here. The Odyssey had been a derelict for years. No one in their right mind would squat in a half-dead Terran cruiser with no FTL drive and a power system that limped along on backup cells. But the music, something between a lullaby and a hymn, echoed down the corridor like it belonged. I crept through the dim hallway, pulse rifle at the ready. Bulkhead still bore the scars of the crash. Warped plates, shattered glass, scorch marks from a plasma fire I barely escaped. Yet someone or something had cleaned up. Blankets hung neatly over what used to be cargo crates. A fireless heat lamp glowed dimly in the corner. And strange carvings, swirling flowing lines, were etched into the walls. Delicate. Almost beautiful. I rounded the corner toward the main atrium. And there she was. Slender. Pale lavender skin that shimmered faintly in the low light. As like molten gold. Long hair, floating slightly in the thin gravity. An alien girl. Maybe 17 by human standards. Maybe younger. She was humming. Eyes closed, hands cradling a tangle of wires from a console that hadn't worked in years. Her fingers glowed faintly at the tips. Bioluminescence. Or tech. My HUD pinged a dozen unknown readings. None hostile. Still I aimed. Step away from the console. Now. Her eyes snapped open. No fear. Just confusion. You are not supposed to be here, she said in halting Terran standard. Blinked. I could say the same thing. She rose slowly, graceful despite the awkward gravity. This place was empty. Broken. I made it safe. Safe. I glanced at the patched walls, the flickering lights. Someone had rerouted auxiliary power with impressive skill. You fixed it. She nodded. I lowered my rifle slightly. Who are you? I am called Tali'Zaneth. Of the Junari. Never heard of them. I'm Captain Rafe Holden. This ship is mine. She frowned, gold eyes narrowing. You left it. Not by choice. We stood there for a long moment, sizing each other up. Then she tilted her head. You are human. Last time I checked. Then why do you carry a weapon at your own doorstep? That made me pause. Because I didn't expect guests. She nodded solemnly, as if that answered everything. Over the next few hours, I learned more than I had in years. Tali was one of the Junari, a nomadic species scattered after the fall of their homeworld to the Vrakesh Dominion. Her family had fled in a bioship that was damaged near Juno 3. She was the only survivor after a crash on the far side of the moon. She'd wandered for days, injured and alone, until she'd found my ship. I thought it was a grave, she admitted softly. But it still breathed. So I stayed. Breathed. Yes. She placed a hand on a glowing conduit. Machines feel. Not like us, but they remember. Chuckled. You sound like one of those fringe engineer cults. She didn't smile. I listen. And apparently Odyssey had responded. She had coaxed the backup systems back online. Rerouted life support. Even tried to wake the dormant AI, though it was locked behind my biometrics. You've been living here? I asked, staring at the restored hydroponics bay. Tiny Junari fungi glowed gently on the walls. She nodded. It is safe. It is home. I didn't know what to say. She'd turned a wreck into shelter. Into something alive. That night, or what passed for night in a ship orbiting a dead moon, I sat with her in the atrium. She played a strange instrument, like a harp made of threads and light, and told me more. Her people viewed machines not just as tools but companions. Equal parts spirit and circuit. Your kind builds and discards, she said, not unkindly. We mend. Remember. I frowned. You said machines remember. What did Odyssey remember? She tilted her head, strands of hair shimmering like starlight. Ooh. Fire. Rain. But also joy. Laughter. The songs of your crew. I felt a lump rise in my throat. Yeah, I said quietly. We were good once. Tully smiled. In the days that followed, I helped her strengthen the remaining systems. Together we reactivated the fusion backup, ran diagnostics on the NAV core, and even reinitialized the AI. It was glitchy, fragmented from damage, but it flickered online. Captain Holden, it rasped. Welcome back. Hey Ava, I said. Miss me. Always. Tali touched the console reverently. It speaks. Yeah, I said. She's old school. But smart. Ava processed the Junari presence in microseconds. Unknown biologic profile. Scans indicate no threat. She's a guest, I said. Correction, resident. Blinked. Wait, what? Subject Tali'Zaneth registered as resident inhabitant. 712 operational days. My throat tightened. You logged her. Yes. She maintained core functions. Protected primary systems. Often. Improved morale. Tali flushed a faint pink, looking away. She kept you alive, I said. Yes, Ava replied. She made us remember. I should have just taken what I needed. Pulled the parts. Said thank you. Left. But I couldn't. Not after seeing what she'd made of my graveyard. Not after realizing how lonely Odyssey had been. And not after seeing how Tali looked at the stars through the observation window, like they were both promise and sorrow. You can't stay here, I said one evening. She looked at me, unblinking. It is home. It's a tomb. Power's failing. Shields are decaying. One good flare and this whole place cooks. She was silent for a long time. Then, you will leave. I have to. She nodded. Then I will go too. And blinked. You what? This place was only home because it was not empty. Now you are here. So I follow. My heart did something I hadn't felt in years. Thudded. We left 2 days later. I salvaged what I could from Odyssey. Installed the NAV logs. Extracted Ava's AI core. Tali helped without hesitation, whispering thanks to every conduit and panel she touched. As we sealed the airlock for the last time, I saw her glance back. You okay? She nodded. She is ready to sleep. I didn't ask who she meant. Aboard the second wind, things changed. Tali learned quickly navigation, engineering, even cooking. She moved through the ship like she belonged. And maybe she did. We shared stories. I taught her poker, she cleaned me out in 3 hands. She taught me how to hear the song of a functioning engine. How a subtle change,